cutting you off. Uh-oh, but I'm going to need your help. Because I don't have... Because you got to...
Switch?
Yeah. Yes, we can pretty much just top it up, I think.
All the way to the top?
Well, I'll tell you when.
Are you watching? Oh, no, I'm not going to be able to stir mine. It's not gonna work.
I didn't stir mine at all, so I don't know. That's good. Thank you, ma'am. Good morning. Good morning. Whoa, this is just in a weird configuration here. There we go.
You set it up.
Gordon. Good morning. Well, I meant the legs of that thing.
It's okay. I can stand on my tippy toes.
There.
Work out my calves.
Okay.
That looks weird.
Good freaking morning. All right, since I set this up, what are you belt fed about this morning?
I don't get belt fed.
That is not true.
Okay, tell me what's the last thing I got belt fed about?
I don't know. Well, I do know. Math. Numbers.
No, why you gotta call me out like that?
Yes.
I bet
That's
if
all.
we watch, look how red my face is. Why do you do this? Yep, you're not wrong.
I know.
I don't like it. Good morning, Brian.
Anyway, that's all that you got belt fed. I just say, hey, look at this number chart. And you're like, no!
Stop confusing me. It's too many numbers.
No! I will not look at that.
It was bad, Vincent. It was bad.
Hi, Vincent. Oh, yes, it was very bad.
It was
Just-
ballistics and
Just look at it.
holdovers
Just
and
look at it.
angles and
Blenders.
geometry
Yes.
and physics and
Geography.
Geography
kind
is-
of. I mean, if you consider the curve of the Earth.
We both know the Earth's flat.
Oh right, I
There
forgot. Man, that makes ballistics so much easier.
If we're talking about math, I'm leaving. Yes.
Don't worry.
Yes.
Only about
Yeah.
how much I hate math.
No math today. No, what? So what? I didn't really have a belt fed thing this weekend because I didn't
That's
freaking
good.
leave my house.
Because you didn't go to the store.
I went, all the only place I went is I got gas. I had to go return a battery for a cord charge. And
They were. You can be mad that they were out of eggs at the store.
but I wasn't there, so I didn't. It's funny. My wife said that she even used the word belt fed. She said if you had gone to Costco with me, you'd be belt fed about it because there were people everywhere. She said at one point she walked down an aisle and there's the same crap we talk about all the time. Cart here, lady standing over here. Cindy walked up, said the lady just looked at her. So Cindy ended up grabbing her cart and was like, whoosh, pushed it out of the way, and the lady goes, "Oh."
Oh.
And just,
Cindy.
Yeah. Yeah, people are dumb.
Jerks.
Yes.
Morning,
but
Filbert. Fu Manchu looks like it needs some just for men.
no way. I gotta leave it.
That's the end thing now. Is that gray hair?
I gotta leave it.
Shows
I'm
wisdom.
definitely leaving it. I couldn't. Now, when I have my beard, it bothers me more because my stripes aren't the same. I have a stripe here and I have a different stripe over here, so they're at different angles, so it annoys me. If they were symmetrical, I could let the beard go. But I don't know. I was just telling Liz and Obi and I don't know, maybe even somebody else. I really thought about shaving this yesterday. So who knows?
He's not ready.
Nope, not yet. One of these days, it will. So anyway, you don't have anything that you're freaking irritated about?
Mad about? No.
Good. Well, that's good.
No.
So what are we talking about then?
Gear for class. Being ready for
And
class.
being ready for class.
That's a lot more than
So
just gear.
I don't know if you watching the videos from last week, but Liz and I next week are going out of town for a class, 5 days, long days.
50 hours.
Yeah.
That is fantastic. I'm so excited about that. I'm really excited for the elements. I know it sounds silly, but I need some training in the elements, and I've not really experienced that yet.
We are very spoiled here because
Yeah.
it's always the same. You know, if it's too cold, you turn the temperature up. If it's too hot, you turn the temperature down.
Yep.
If you need darkness, you flip a light switch. If you're tired of the darkness, you flip a light switch. So we're very, very spoiled by that. But next week, we will not have that spoiliness. We will be outdoors shooting for 5 days, putting in lots of work.
And you know what else? You know, we're here, and luckily we get some super awesome instructors that come in through here, so we still get training for ourselves at our place. So that has been very nice, and to consider going to a 5-day outdoor class, again, within it's rain or shine, it doesn't matter what weather comes our way, we're shooting it, and I'm excited. I truly am.
And
But
guess what?
make sure you bring yourself to class. A lot of people forget this. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was just
go
going
to
with
class.
this. So rain or shine, if it's raining, we got to go to class, right?
Yeah.
How many people would not show up to one of our classes because it's raining outside? And we're freaking indoors. Well, it's raining. I don't want to drive.
Too cold.
It's too cold. So I didn't make it to class today. I walked outside and I was like, brr. So I had to go back inside.
It's too cold.
Those are the types of emails I get from people when they don't show up to class. Okay? That is step number 1, is freaking show up. Show up.
Good morning, Dad.
Yeah, and coming prepared, right? Looking at the course list and you know, if it says this just happened last week.
Good morning, Jeff.
Just happened last week. Somebody showed up for class. Said, "Hey, how much ammo do we need?" I know the website said 350, but I've got 250. Is that enough? No, that's not enough.
I am so terrified I'm going to forget something.
Oh yeah, I
I'm
am
like,
too. So this is interesting, which is what made us what? I
Pride
can't
of
read
the-
from over there.
I don't want you to, i.e., I don't want you to know how much I suck. The ego's real.
Yes.
But anyway, just last week, what? Is that what you said?
No, I already said that part. Just last week, guy showed up.
Oh, yeah.
Said, "Hey, we're supposed to have 350, but I got 250. Is that enough?" Damn it! Now where the hell was I going after that? Now you got me screwed up with
You're welcome.
just last week.
I said I'm worried I'm going to forget something.
Oh yeah, that's where the topic came from. Is we're both packing a bunch of stuff up, and it sounds really weird, but it's hard for us to pack for classes because we have everything here. We go to class all the time, and we have guns, we have ammo, we have eye protection, ear protection, cleaning kits. All the stuff we need is here.
Yeah.
Right? It's like if you're a mechanic, all your tools are at work, right? And all of a sudden you're like, I need to pack up stuff to go do a job. What do I need? You know?
I know. It's oh man.
And so we're like, hey, let's do a video to talk about this because first of all, we have people show up here for classes all the time with not having the right stuff. Mm-hmm. Oh, I need an outside the waistband holster, and they show up for class. It's like, I don't have a holster. I don't really need it, do I? Yes, you freaking need a holster.
Part of the class.
You need a holster.
So Paul says if the class calls for 350, I bring 400. Yep, bring extra ammo. My
Always.
dad says I drive 2 hours and I show up. You are the reason why I'm early to places, Dad. I appreciate you. I bring all my ammo for classes.
Yes.
It's valid too.
Yeah.
I have a whole new respect for my husband. Travels around. He's a field service manager, and he drives from all kinds of different job sites. His truck is like
His office.
completely loaded for
Yeah.
every possibility you can imagine. And I'm like, whoa, there's a lot of stuff in there. That thing probably weighs. I probably shouldn't even say it out loud. DOT will go get him. It is insane. But he's got something for everything. So easy there, Hulkamania light.
I need a tearaway shirt.
Oh no.
Oh man, now I got ideas in my head.
Oh boy.
That'd be bad. That'd be really bad. God, quit with the squirrels, please. So, I mean, big picture wise, what do you need for a class? You need a gun.
Yeah.
Now, the only time that you have an excuse to not have in our classes to not have a gun is CCW or basic pistol. The intermediate as well.
Or private lessons.
Yeah, private lessons. Okay, that's totally fine. You're fine showing up to those with yourself and a pen and a piece of paper or something. Pretty much everything else.
You should have a gun. Oh, basic shotgun, basic
Yeah,
rifle. Any
basic
of the
level
basic
classes when you're trying to figure something out. That's totally fine. But big picture wise, you need to be self-supported. Okay, so when you show up for class that you're supposed to have an outside waistband holster for, you should have the holster. You should that should be pretty obvious that I need this gear. But then you should also have batteries for your optics. What about extra guns?
Yeah.
Yeah. If now that's a harder ask, especially at the basic
Sure.
level. We don't expect somebody that, hey, I'm taking basic pistol and I'm using my own gun to show up here with 2 guns.
No.
Okay.
That's a little tough to expect.
But
Good morning, Andy.
In the vast majority of all classes, if your gun goes down, you sit and watch.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
You're done. And you don't get to come back and take the class. I mean, if you want to pay for it again, you can.
Generally speaking.
Yeah, in for most classes. For us, we're typically way nicer than that.
Shh, don't tell people we're nice.
We had it happen last week.
Oh
again,
yeah,
in your class.
Yeah, I had a student. Oh man. First off, Vortex optics can piss off. Dumb.
Pistol optics.
Pistol optics. Yeah. So it was the Viper to be specific. This poor guy. He had nice gun, 509. Put a Vortex on it, and we went to go zero guns, and I couldn't zero it. The thing wouldn't turn.
Turret.
Yeah. So I was wondering about that. Is a turret only with the cap that you can turn like with your fingers, or is it still with the
They
screwdriver?
still call it. At least I would. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, so I could not turn the turret to adjust the elevation because there's lockout screws behind the optic that butt up against the rear sight. I have to unlock those screws to be able to move the turrets. That means
So
I have to take
take
off
the
the
sight.
dot
Or-
or take off the rear sight.
Yeah.
It's like,
And that was a
why?
package gun too, right? Didn't he say that? Like he bought it as a package gun and optic? I think he
I
said
don't
that.
know. I don't know. I don't remember that. But
Yeah,
that's
so Brian says the XL Defender looks promising. It's funny, I said the same thing in the class. I said, that's the only one that I've heard good
Is that the Vortex?
Yeah,
I gotcha.
that's the big one. It's kind of like the 507 comp or the SRO, just big, super big window.
If you're not mounting your optic the night before class and showing up on zeroed, are you even living? That's another good point.
Oh my God.
Prepare yourself. Now it depends. Like if you're going to a class where it's the real basic stuff of a red dot and you don't even know what you don't know yet, like big deal. Like if you come to our Red Dot Concepts 1 class, we talk about a zero, we talk about mounting, we talk about all that stuff. We expect you to have your gun mounted with a dot.
Don't show up here with an optic in one box and your gun in another.
Yeah, we can't mount it because it needs to sit with the Loctite and everything for 24 hours. Anyway, we don't necessarily expect your gun to be zeroed. Bore-sighted would be ideal, but zeroed would be truly ideal, and we'll just double check it. But if you show up, it's not a big deal if we have to zero it in class because you're there to learn that stuff. So that's not a big deal. But if you go to a high-level Red Dot class like our Red Dot 2 or other classes outside that are higher level, you're going to expect to have your gun zeroed already, mounted properly, so on and so forth. Do I bring but I do bring a backup gun to matches. Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Vinny is the only one that's nice.
You might be mistaken there.
Vincent. Don't show up in a plate carrier for
Oh, was that
CCW.
Vinny that said that?
No, that was my dad that said
Oh.
that. He's always talking about Vinny. Don't show up in a plate carrier for CCW class. There's also that.
There is also that. We
Cheap
definitely
with
have that happen too.
Yeah, when somebody comes to CCW class and they bring like 4 or 5 guns with them.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's fine.
Yeah, that's cool. And I'll usually say, like, I like the way you travel, but
Yeah.
you're shooting 40 rounds today, dude.
Yeah.
Like, that's the joke for the CCW is you get to do a lot of sitting on your butt listening to me flap my lips. That's it.
You're going to scare them away. But anyway, so that is part of the preparation for class, is to make sure your gear actually works. I just replaced my batteries on, both 3 of my dots, just to make sure that they're fresh. I'm going to zero them today, make sure they're good, make sure I can shoot with this dumb thing on. And that way I can feel good about my gear. So if I do have to switch to my backup gun, that I'm confident with it and it's not just half-assed together. So,
Yeah, I had a gun go down on me. We talked about this last week. I had a gun go down on me. I traveled to North Carolina for a class, and my dot worked itself off the gun, or loose. It didn't come off, but it worked itself loose, and I had to go grab my backup gun, or I could have just sat and watched everybody for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Right? There's no, and in this case, my backup gun was a different make and model. I was running a SIG P320 at the time. I know, that was dumb. But my backup gun was a Glock, and so I had to have different holster, different magazines, all that stuff. So the class goes on. The class doesn't wait for me, right? I leave, I go and swap all my gear out, load up Glock mags, download my 320 mags, and then jump back in the line and start class again. You gotta come prepared for that kind of stuff. And it amazes me how many times people, again, this weekend, it's so easy to have these examples because it happens all the time. And I really hope people understand how freaking nice we are.
well, here's the thing:
really
is yes, we're nice, but this is life. It's not just classes. I mean, like, if you are driving in the wintertime or the summer, whatever, if you don't have backup items in your car to be able to fix a flat, or if you have to walk a mile to get to a gas station and it's freaking a foot of snow outside, like, do you have,
We are spoiled by convenience.
We are, and you should be prepared for things to an extent. You don't need to go overboard, but life is, that's the only thing that stays constant, is things change. And the second that you start expecting something is, anyway, I'm going off on a tangent.
Yeah.
So what other things do we want for class? Like, real quick, Nick asked what I did to my wrist. I'm learning a new skill, and I punched something incorrectly, and I sprained my wrist. I got
Punched me in the face.
I got weak little wrists, and I torqued it the wrong way. So I'm trying to nurse it back to health before I go to class. So I shot a rifle class with a trigger spring in backwards, light strikes every other round. That's frustrating.
That will
got really good at malfunction clearing, I'm sure.
I kind of remember that as a Jeff, right? Yeah, I do kind of remember that. Basic maintenance items. We already talked about batteries. Double checking to make sure stuff is torqued down. Optics, we've talked about this before, but on optics that have an external battery tray, that's really awesome because you don't have to take the dot off to put the battery in, but that also means the dot can come out. It can be spontaneously ejected while you're shooting your gun. So, which we see happen. So having extra batteries, maybe even an extra battery tray if at all possible.
I need to add that to my list. An extra battery tray.
So, but just to check those screws and make sure, those are actually a little bit harder to witness mark, but you can.
What I have been doing for the past few weeks is just making a list. Like, I just have a little list in my phone that I just keep adding to as things become.
Pop up.
Because if you think that, like, oh, okay, I got to remember to take that with me, you're not going to freaking remember in a week when you need to pack for class or whatever.
No.
So just start making a list in your phone, and then just that'll be your ongoing list as you go on through other classes and things like that. So that way you at least have the biggest picture of what you need. And then, whatever class you're going to, you can just make decisions on, like, well, do I need my extra gun today, or am I just taking CCW? Do I need a towel to wipe the sweat off my brow, or if it's dead of winter and we're going into the range? Actually, it could be the summertime you go into the range, you won't be breaking a sweat. Bring a jacket.
So something...
Sky is the best handgun out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep, out the window. My partner went to rifle class and EOTech fell off in front of everyone. Very embarrassing. I mean, that sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks more than anything. I wouldn't say it's embarrassing, but I mean,
it's embarrassing.
Gear malfunctions happen.
If you stepped up to the line
Okay, you're
And
right.
so
That was
we're shooting shotguns and pistols.
My dot flew off.
You step up to the line and you've got your shotgun slung and you bring it up and your optic goes bloop.
Okay, that would be embarrassing.
That would be embarrassing. Yes. Other basic maintenance items, oil. Right? Even if you don't have a cleaning kit with you to actually take your gun apart and clean it. You know, if you're showing up for a one-day class, you probably don't need a cleaning kit. But
Oil.
most of the time, even if your gun's super dirty and nasty, if you can just add oil to it, the gun will run for for a long time.
Not ever.
But for a long time. And it amazes me when people are like, oh, my gun doesn't work. Okay, we'll go add oil to it. I don't have any of that stuff.
What?
What do you mean? Why don't you? This is one place that having a dedicated purpose-built range bag can be nice, especially if you know, again, unlike us who have our range bag is my desk. You know, all my stuff's in there. But if you come out here on a normal basis to shoot or anywhere to go shoot, and you have a standard range bag that you take, you know that this pocket my ears go in, my eyes go here, my cleaning kit goes here, my guns go in this pocket. It's really easy to make sure you've got all of that basic level stuff, the big picture stuff. Then you can just focus on the specifics that you need for the class or for whatever you're doing on the range that day. I think that I kind of want to do a video. Maybe we'll do something after class. Class is all next week, so maybe the following week we'll do something where we bring in our bags. The problem is it's a lot of shit. It's a lot. Because so in this class we're shooting pistol shotguns. So I'm taking 2 pistols, 2 shotguns. This morning is awesome. So this morning we have a CCW class going on and a shotgun 2 class going on. And one of my students Vinny's student, comes in with 2 long gun bags. And I'm like, hey, do you have 2 shotguns with you? And he was like,
He felt attacked.
yes. Why? He's like, because one of them's new and I want to use it today and I don't know if it's going to work or not, so I wanted to bring a backup. I'm like, yes, you're awesome. And he was like, oh, okay. Whew. That's awesome. Like, he thought about the fact that, hey, this gun's new. I haven't shot it a bunch. I don't know if he shot it at all yet. I haven't shot it a bunch. I don't know if it's going to work for class today. So I'm going to bring my old shotgun, which I have used before, in classes, and it's set up just the way I want it. Blah, 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 blah. He thought ahead. Just in case he has another gun with him. Do we have guns here that people could use? Sure. But you don't count on that, because it's not the same. What happened with your student when his gun went down?
Oh.
He went home.
Yeah, well, I tried to get a rental gun for him, but we had some malfunctions with that one, and I couldn't facilitate another one for him, so he had to go home. We moved him to a different class date because we're nice people, but that sucks. Like, it was
that, and now that's something that you need to understand too. That in most cases,
that's not an option.
You're not getting another class for free.
And that's not always an option here either, because if you
that's not our fault.
If you show up and you got a holster that doesn't meet the holster requirements, that's clearly put everywhere in the email and the website, and you can always call and ask if you need to, or anybody here in the store usually will tell you what kind of holster you need for class. If you show up with a holster that's unsafe, Serpa holster or something, we're not going to just be like, oh, okay, we'll just move you to next week, or that's taking a seat in class and intentionally not preparing for class. So, don't do that. Do your absolute best. We understand mistakes happen, but good morning from the country. What's the country?
Rollo. Hi, Dennis. Good morning.
Okay. Rollo's the country. I like the country.
What the heck else was I going to say?
Clothing too, depending on what kind of class it is. If you're going outside, I have no idea what the weather's going to be like next week, which we could probably look at.
Yeah, we're gone for 5 days. I will probably have a suitcase packed for a month because
it's Missouri.
What I'm expecting is and I'm kind of hoping it's going to be like this week, where it's cold in the mornings, in the afternoons it's in the 50s, 60s. I think that'd be good weather.
I want it to rain.
But you got to have gear for all that stuff.
Oh, I should get a poncho. No, won't be able to draw from underneath my poncho. I guess I could
your
put the
gear
belt on
over,
top.
over the poncho.
Mental preparation.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna have so many clothes because then you go on the range for the day, and let's just say it's muddy and nasty and all that crap, and you gotta have stuff to wear the next day.
Yeah. Yep. Had a primer pop out. Whoa. Had a primer pop out and get stuck. Oh my gosh. And the cam pin track required a complete disassembly on the bench. Well, that's not fun.
Yeah.
Always bring a backup rifle. Always bring backup pistols too. Agreed.
Yeah, if for rifles, for ARs, I would say at a minimum bring a backup bolt. But yeah, if you can have a backup rifle. I had to do that too in a class several years ago. My battery died in my optic. I thought my battery died. It didn't, but I'll talk about that in a second. Thought my battery died in my optic, and so I had to run back to my car and swap rifles out. Turned out that I had bumped the button on the side of the optic off my gear, and it turned it into night vision mode. And I was so confused because I had just replaced batteries before. This was another 5-day class. And, I had just replaced batteries in it, and I was like, why is this damn thing now? And of course, it's like getting dark outside, and we're doing some movement and stuff, and my gun comes up, and I can't find the dot. I'm like, oh, crap. Okay, shoot irons, and we're shooting like 75 yards. And it's bad.
You can do it, Marine.
Yeah.
Have a wonderful day. You too, Gina. Not with that attitude. I don't know what that would have been for.
Yeah. The comments come in way
Delayed.
late, but
Let's see if it does it. Trying to see if it does.
yeah, I don't know if it will or not.
It's okay.
What else? Hearing protection.
Oh,
Again,
yeah.
at the base level, and here we have stuff you can use, but to have your own stuff is hugely valuable. And gosh dang it, just freaking remember the stuff. Just bring your gear with you when you come to a class.
Oh, with the poncho and not being able to draw.
Oh,
What did you say again?
you can do it.
Oh, you can do it. Not with that attitude. That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Good job, Liz. What else?
I would look at my list, but my phone is being occupied.
So, what about
Snacks. Oh, D-lead wipes.
Yeah, so that's
a big one.
Now again, this is an all-day class, so we'll be eating lunch out on the range. That's something that people get spoiled here. A lot of times when we break for lunch, if we do an all-day class, you get to, we have Wendy's right next door, or you get to go somewhere and get food. That's certainly not always the case. You got to bring food, so we have. I'm bringing D-lead wipes to be able to clean my hands up and stuff before I stuff my face for lunch.
A lot of people think that lead exposure is higher in an indoor range because it's like confined, and it has a potential to be, but with the ventilation on an indoor range and the ability to wash your hands, that's a huge thing.
Yeah.
When I went to that match for A Girl and a Gun, it was like, you didn't really have those sinks around to wash your hands, so you had to bring D-lead wipes or things like that. But it was so easy, just want to sneak a couple chips or something, or a little meat stick or something, and eat it on, in between stages, and you got lead on your hands.
Yeah.
So I think lead exposure is higher with outside classes or matches and stuff if you don't keep that in mind. So
Baby wipes and Sour Patch Kids. Lunch of champions.
Sour Patch Kids taste like baby wipes. Have a wonderful time. Hi, Jeff. Come out sometime. Okay.
Dang it, I had something else that I thought of that's an unusual thing.
Talked about batteries. Talked about night fire range with sunglasses on because you forgot your clear eye.
Clears. Yep.
That's a good point.
Yeah, that's definitely a good point. All of a sudden the sun's going down. You're like, uh-oh.
A hat.
All I got is sunglasses. Hats are great. Towels. Again, basic stuff.
Now that's basic stuff for us, but it's not. We're
Yeah,
talking
well, I'm
to
saying basic stuff, but
Oh.
it's stuff you don't necessarily think about. Just in this case, it probably won't be a big deal because of the time of the year, but sometimes to have a towel that you can just drape over the back of your neck or something because you're out in the sun all day long.
Sunscreen,
Again, not
bug
a
spray.
big deal here because we have a roof, but
Sunscreen and bug spray,
Yeah.
typical stuff there. Shoes,
water.
proper shoes.
Yeah.
Maybe like some backup shoes. I'm gonna bring my 511 boots, but I'm gonna bring some other
I have
shoes
I have
just
a
in
couple
case
pairs of
they get
freaking shoes. Again,
destroyed in
it's
some-
going to look like I'm traveling for a month because, yeah,
Yep.
you gotta go prepared.
Better to
Have it
get
not
a
needed.
trailer.
Yeah, I was just talking like we were talking about a cleaning kit. Well, I could bring this. I've got a toolbox that's just full of all sorts of stuff. 98% of it we won't need because even for a week and shooting, 1,300 rounds out of our pistols, you could just add oil.
Oh yeah, and even if that, like your gun should operate for 10,000 rounds. If it's a duty gun,
if it's
like
in good condition already. I don't anticipate needing to do anything to my gun.
No.
But
it should. Like if you're taking a class where you're shooting over 1,000 rounds, your gun should be able to handle that without being cleaned, without being oiled. Like if it doesn't, just know your gun, know your stuff, because if you're shooting a super tight tolerance gun and all that carbon starts to cause you issues faster than a gun that's meant for purpose driven situations. I personally would not choose to keep a gun it's my personal preference to keep a gun that can't go 5,000 to 10,000 rounds without being cleaned.
Yeah.
Because it's too finicky at that point. For me, I get it, but for me, I would not prefer that. That's why I like Glocks.
So I've got all sorts of extra batteries and stuff for my flashlights, for my optics, honestly, I have batteries for other people's optics. I have batteries that in my case that don't even go on my rifle optics that I'm not taking to this class. So, but keeping the batteries there.
If you have a gun that has a break-in period, break it in
Break
first.
it in, yes.
Now, again, the types of guns that I typically will shoot do not require break-in, but that's not to say all of them are going to be great like that. Shoot your gun first before you take a brand new class or brand new gun to class. Make sure it works well. And then the type of ammo that you choose. If you bring your own reloaded ammunition, at least keep in mind that you might have more malfunctions than if you bought factory ammunition. And are you prepared to deal with the consequences? As an instructor, if I've had students in class that use reloaded ammunition of which they don't dedicate a lot of effort into it and they have a lot of malfunctions, it's a very frustrating situation.
Oh, it is so frustrating.
I've seen plenty of people run their guns with reloaded ammunition, it's just fine. But if you know your reloads to give you trouble, I would avoid them.
Don't bring those to class.
And don't use other people's reloads unless that has been an ongoing thing for you and you trust it. Don't just like, hey, your buddy reloads ammunition. Like, hey, let me help you out. Let me give you all this
he
ammo
gave
for
me
class.
this as payment for something.
And you've never shot it before. You don't know how reliable it is. I mean, for one, just, dangerous stuff. And for two, reliability. And Andy brings up a huge point.
Yeah.
First aid kit, Band-Aids.
Yeah.
Little stuff and then big stuff.
Yeah.
Big
just to
trauma stuff.
even just to keep the little cuts and scrapes and stuff clean, because you're in a dirty environment, right? Like if I scrape my hand on, scrape the skin on my thumb, I vastly prefer to put something over the top of it just to keep it clean. From the boo-boo kit perspective, and then obviously you want to have big stuff, trauma stuff as well.
Moleskin, extra socks, things like that to, just little comfort items, I guess. If you start getting a blister on the back of your heel or something because your boots that you're wearing just, you don't wear them every day and they start to give you trouble, you don't want to be thinking about that the whole time. If you can throw a piece of moleskin on it and be done with it and be more comfortable so you can pay
What
attention
about
in
chair?
class. I stand up mostly during the day, so I don't usually find myself needing a chair if I'm up on my feet all day, but I've not taken a class this long before, so this will be an experience for me. But a little folding hunting chair or something that you can sling over your back probably wouldn't be a bad idea.
And I don't know what this range looks like, if there's picnic tables, not picnic tables or something, but I'll have a chair in the car that, there's.
I want to add that to my list too.
This is something that, again, this is gonna be long days, so we might have an opportunity to leave the range. If we're getting ready to do night fire stuff, we might have an opportunity to leave the range and go, get something to eat, or we might not before it gets dark. If you have the ability to sit down when you come to a match or something, you come to a big match here, there's a bunch of people, it's great to have a little chair that you can set up and take a break for a minute. Especially, it is a little bit different here because you're on your feet all day on concrete, right, which does tire you out more. Now for her and I, we're used to it, but for others, maybe not. Maybe you're a little older, maybe you just had knee surgery or something you got to think about. You got to take care of you.
Yeah.
Too.
Know yourself.
Yeah, and you can't expect everybody to cater to your needs. Oh, my gun needs oil.
No.
Okay, who's got oil for me? Oh,
No.
I need a speed loader. Who's got a speed loader I can use? Oh, I need
Speed loader. That's another one.
hearing
Yeah,
protection.
speed loaders.
Who's got ears I can use or whatever.
Now, people in the gun world are very friendly and very willing to share that from what I've seen, but don't rely on that.
Yeah.
And it adds up.
Yes.
Nick asked what range we're going to. It's out in
Bolivar.
Bolivar,
Yeah.
not
Strategos
Bolivar.
Peacekeepers range.
Yeah. So, yeah, speed loader. You might be great at loading magazines. I'm sure you are, and I am too. But bring a speed loader.
Yeah.
Because for
Just
one,
saves
just
your
for the
frickin'
same
fingers.
for the speed of it, and then just what about chalk? Hand chalk?
Yep, I'll be bringing that. Well,
Yep.
At least my intention is, since it's sitting on my desk. I should just throw it in my bag today.
Gloves. I don't know.
You got to think through the stuff.
Yeah.
And be self-sufficient. Now, if it's you and a buddy going, you would be like, hey, you're bringing your cleaning gear, right? And I'll bring whatever. You don't both need to have all the stuff, right? In our case, if I say, hey, I'm going to bring my whole toolbox, which I don't know yet if I'm going to, but if I'm going to bring my whole toolbox, she doesn't need to worry about putting together a smaller kit to keep the guns up and running, because I'd have that whole toolbox in the truck.
But if it's a consumable item or something,
Yeah.
then yeah, bring your own stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that
That's it.
pretty much does it. What else do we have going on? We got all sorts of stuff going on this.
Oh, we got the human trafficking and child exploitation prevention seminar tomorrow.
Guess what?
Guess what?
It's supposed to rain.
Oh no. Dang it. Too bad it's inside.
The class is inside, people. Just so everybody knows, the class is indoors. So if it's raining outdoors, you can sit down inside and not get rained on and enjoy the information that's being
Glorious.
presented to you.
Absolutely.
Or be sickened by the information that's being presented to you. This one is a tough course, not course, but informational session.
Yeah.
So we have the Child Advocacy Center coming out here tomorrow.
The class is full with
It's full.
60 people. And if 60 people don't show up tomorrow, I'm going to be very sad.
Yes.
And he's going to be very mad.
I will be mad. She
And
will be sad.
Sad, mad Liz Phil is not good.
So we do need to, I'm going to say this out loud, so one of us will do it today. We need to send an email to everybody and be like, hey,
Okay.
we need to send a picture
I'm going
like
to
this.
send it out.
Hey!
Hey. Oh, that's what we need to do is take a screenshot
Yes.
of that. You look like Uncle Sam. Just like on the picture on the back of
Yes,
the toilet in the
Yes,
bathroom.
It's great. It's great.
So you. Anyway, if you're signed up, please show up.
Yes.
We have a few people on the wait list. If you want to get on the wait list, send an email, training@therangeSTL.com, because there's a high chance that you'll get in it. People might start dropping today. Hopefully not, but hopefully we have a great turnout. How basic is that Carbine 1 class that I got emailed about? If you know how to load and you know
Who
how
asked
to-
that?
Patrick.
Oh, Patrick. I mean,
Yep.
so yeah, Patrick would be totally fine with getting into a Carbine 1. It's not basic level. Basic Carbine is our basic level class. If somebody's trying to skip basic and go to Carbine 1, as long as you know how to load magazines, load your gun, operate the safety,
Lock your bolt back.
then you're good.
Yeah.
What? I don't know if I want to go there, but Yeah, and then we get into, so in that class, you start working, running the gun fast and stuff, which you'd be more than capable of doing. Clearing malfunctions, up drills, and
shooting your gun.
Shooting your gun. Yeah, we start the process of understanding the trigger and shooting the gun fast and all that sort of stuff. So that's what that one is. Don't get on the Phil's mad at me list. Yes, that's definitely a good list to stay off of.
It's almost as bad as the no-fly list.
Almost.
What are we doing tonight?
Tonight we're doing a community event for the Jewish community out at the J. Very cool women's awareness class that we get to go teach tonight. I don't know how many people we have signed up for it, like 30 something signed up for that. That's going to be super cool.
Yeah.
So if any of you watching are coming out to that, it's going to be a good time. We're going to have lots of fun, sharing lots of great information. Free class.
Yep.
And I don't know if they still taking sign-ups or not, but
You're awesome.
yeah, hopefully we'll see some of you out there tonight.
You.
So that's from 5 to 7, I think, tonight out
Yep,
at the J.
the J.
Yeah. We got all sorts of classes going on this week.
Oh.
And then, yes.
Oh, next week. No, the 12th. Not next week. The week after.
Oh, we got to talk about basketball, too.
Okay. Well, in a minute.
Okay.
This one's more important.
Okay.
So we have another women's self-defense workshop. So the same one that we did last time with the free gloves. So $50. We do some grappling, like on the ground stuff, and then we do some striking, punch Phil in the face day kind of stuff. It's a great time. You get some free gloves, so that way you can come back and do more. So if you came to the last one, sign up for these next two. You can get, there's two of them on the 12th and then the 2nd, I believe, of April. We're going to put out some information here today, hopefully. And so it's such an inexpensive, high quality training environment to learn some of these basic things. And now there's two of them back to back that you can really start to build some repetition there and start to, retain some of these things. It's still not enough, but
No.
get it started. We just want to be clear about that it's not going to turn you into a ninja overnight,
Yeah.
but the ability to flip the switch to be able to even be physically violent at all. Not that you have to actually punch your partner in the face like you're hitting pads and everything, but it's a big mental shift for women. So just that very simple thing is a huge benefit to come into these classes, because if you think that those things are going to come naturally to you in the moment, it's
Yeah,
a hard shift to make. So
If you went to the last one, yes, it's still 100% worth it to come to it again, because there's some of that initial struggle of trying to be violent, like just getting some of the ladies to even throw a jab is
Yeah.
tough. But now you're over that. So now when we start at that step, you get to jump right into it, and it
feels good.
It's
does.
very, very valuable to redo that stuff over and over and over and over again. You will get lots of value out of it by doing it again.
Yep.
Way more than the $50 that you're paying,
Or
or $75 for two.
Yeah, that's
Right?
huge.
That's a
huge.
big deal. So
I'm excited.
yeah, get signed up for that. Hopefully we'll post something about it today. The gym. So this is not our event. This is something we do with our gym because it's important, right? We don't make any money on it. We've always done in the past, just have you pay when you show up, but then guess what? People don't freaking show up. And everybody takes spots, and we sell it out, so we don't accept any more spots, and then people don't show up. So now they smartened up, and you got to pay first. So there's an Eventbrite link, so you can sign up, pay ahead of time, show up, check in, get your gloves if you don't already have them, and get out on the mats. It's going to be a good time.
Paul says he's already a mall ninja. He has an Orange Julius belt.
I like that.
That's funny.
I want an Orange Julius belt.
That's funny. I think that's. Oh, talk about that thing.
Oh, we have.
Madness.
I don't know what we call it anymore, but we have basketball brigade.
Basket bonus brigade.
Basket bonuses. Once a day, you can come in and take a shot at one of the baskets.
Yeah, do the thing.
Okay, I'm gonna try to do this.
Don't mess it up.
Too
I
late.
believe in you.
Boop. All right. So you can
I'm gonna spin the wheel.
shoot at this basket and win 2 free targets, or you can shoot at this basket and get 15% off ammo, or you can shoot at this target, which means if you make, or you get not shoot, throw the ball at that.
Not shoot.
If you make the basket, you get to spin the wheel. Spin the wheel, Liz. And then behind the basketball will be a number. Number 11. And then that will correspond with something that we're not going to show you.
Free lesson with Phil.
Yes, great. And then you get to take advantage of whatever that deal is if you want to. If it's whatever, 15% off of an
Why are we
optic
gonna hide the
or
numbers
something.
if you don't know what the numbers mean? Charles.
Say that again.
Why are we hiding the numbers if you still have to look at?
Well,
what
I
the
guess you
numbers
don't.
mean?
You don't have to hide. You don't have to hide what the numbers mean. You just have to hide the numbers.
Why? If you don't know what the numbers mean, why do you have to hide the numbers?
Because people will know what the numbers mean because they can do it every day.
Oh, I see.
Because they can do it every day. So if you know number 11 is
Private lesson with Phil.
yeah, and
Just
you're
kidding,
like
I have no idea.
clunk. You don't want a private lesson with me. There shouldn't be any on that. The whole wheel's probably full of that. No, it's you can do it every day. Members can do it twice a day. So you do have to take advantage of whatever the deal is that day. If you win a free private lesson, it doesn't mean you have to take a lesson that day. You do have to sign up that day for a date. You can't say, at some point in the future, I'll take advantage of this. No, we did that in the past, and it was a disaster. If you win, 15% off of an optic, you gotta do it today. Okay, if you win, whatever, a discount on a membership, you got to get the membership today. So that's it.
Okay,
Now what? What else?
that's it.
Okay, that's all I've got to say about that. If you guys need something, come see us, 14803 Manchester Road in Butte. You get ready to hit that button way too soon. This takes time. It takes time.
Hurry up!
See? Takes time. If you would like
You sound like the Grinch.
something.
Oh my gosh, you sound just like the Grinch. That makes sense.
It does.
That makes sense.
10 to 8, Monday through Friday, Saturday 9 to 6, Sunday 10 to 6. You guys stay safe, be nice to one another, and we'll catch you soon.